Kevin Gates is viral for talking about Savanah James and LeBron James. Let's watch.
We were just looking at like couples and people in the league. And we was talking about how LeBron do the little handshake with Savannah.
Right.
And then I was like, maybe I noticed that people don't notice. But I'm like, they was like talking about, what if you had LeBron money? I'm like, man, he one of the greatest players to ever play the game.
Right.
But I wouldn't want to trade places with him. And they was like, why not? Why you wouldn't want to play? I say, because I don't like the way Savannah look at LeBron. I like the way them white women look at LeBron. Like when soon as he walk out there, they just be like, oh. They be dicked out. But it's like I noticed when he go do the handshake with the main player on his team, which is that, it's like, you act like I'm bothering you. Like,
Right.
I'm the greatest player in the world, one of them. Like top 5, top 10, I'm one of them. And I'm in the playoffs. And you act like the warden of the jail. Like you came here to police me. Like you ain't, like, you not dicked out like these white women just dicked out about me in here. Like, so, like, I couldn't do it.
So with this, I'm going to provide context with a few clips. Let's look at the handshake first. Now, that's what Kevin Gates is talking about. Me personally, I don't see anything wrong with the energy. Like, even when she didn't want to do the handshake, you know, she still got a smile on her face. She didn't look like she said anything crazy or nothing like that. So I don't think the energy was necessarily that bad. And I got a clip I'm going to go over in a moment. But let's go to some of the clips of how white women look at LeBron. So that's the difference in the energy. And I'm not going to lie, when you see the lip bite and stuff like that, that's lust. But that is what Kevin is talking about. Now, all over social media, you'll see ridiculous takes like this. Like he's actually jealous of Savannah because he wants to be LeBron's wife. When it comes to things that make women emotional, of course, they can't respectfully just disagree. But you also have more balanced takes from men, or just regular takes that aren't that disrespectful. She been with Bron for over 20 years since high school. Like, it's not going to be like that. And I'm going to give a lot of my takes, but the first thing I want to get out the way is the way that those white chicks do look at LeBron and the way that they be on him. I've never seen Savannah like that for LeBron in the 20 years that we've been seeing them together. Never seen her enamored over LeBron like that, ever. So we got a lot of things to address. The first thing I'm going to address is a clip that kind of supports to some degree what Kevin said, and I reacted to this in another video. I'm not sure if the video has come out yet.
Here comes Rager.
This how you making me bring in the new year? This how you making me bring in the new year?
Hey, man. I mean, listen, I've been in Atlanta all weekend. I got my birthday celebration. I went to a basketball game. We celebrate my birthday with you. Mom's good. Ohio State crushing loss. So I got to get it done. Just start the year off with.
Now, this video is tongue-in-cheek. It's not, she's not serious. She's not pressing the dude, but as J. Cole say, in every joke, there's some true shit. Which leads me to the 2 points that I'm about to make about this video. The first thing is, even though it's tongue-in-cheek, you could tell there's a little bit of realness to it because he had to make a case He had to make a case of look at all the stuff that we've done and look at all the fun that we've recently had and look at all the, things that I've been doing a lot, and a lot of it has to do with you. You've had a good time, et cetera, et cetera. So in that moment, even though they joking, he still had to justify playing the game. But this is the issue that I have with it. And it goes really beyond Savanah and LeBron James, because this is universally true for the most part when you look at a lot of these couples. The Alec Baldwin incident, where she told Alec Baldwin to hush up basically on the red carpet and stuff like that. And she's a nobody as far as Alec Baldwin's wife. And Alec Baldwin is Alec fucking Baldwin, super A-list star. Been acting since like the 70s or the 80s. On film, mind you. And she still felt the need to emasculate him in that way. So again, this what I'm about to say applies to a lot of great men. A lot of chicks will get on the internet, talk about I want to live a soft life, princess treatment, I'm not doing no 50-50. Dude got to make over 100K and stuff like that. All this money stuff. And you'll have other dudes who will back it up. Oh, man's supposed to provide. And if your girl got to work, you're not a man. All that type of stuff, right? And this is the point that I be trying to tell y'all in a lot of cases, that the money shit don't matter, because when we get to the pinnacle of men making money, and not even just men making money, the pinnacle is status, the two things that are supposed to be the most attractive to women. Which, if you know how my paradigm goes, which you may not, you may be new here, the way attraction works in this order, when it comes to a woman being attracted to a man: status number one, personality number two, looks, then money. So money is actually last. But if you listen to a lot of people, they talk like money is number one. So when I say that, the two most attractive things, status, everybody can agree that status is extremely attractive to women. I think everybody can agree on that. But where I have the discrepancy is the money category. But most people think that money is the most attractive thing to a woman. If you got the money, you got the babes and stuff like that. That's what people think. But you have men who are exceeding in these two categories. You got some of the best status in the world, and LeBron is a billionaire. And he is not just that. He is an absolutely great man. One of the greatest basketball players of all time, one of the best at his craft, universally revered when it comes to basketball and stuff like that. He's even done very charitable stuff that your favorite basketball player, Michael Jordan, would never do. He went and opened a school in the hood in his hometown, and it's an academy, and he also gave all the kids free bikes. So he's actually giving resources to his community. So this is an incredible man, and it goes far beyond everything that I could say in this video. This is an incredible, great man. But to get to the point, the issue is the women that these guys be with over time get comfortable. The married women that they get comfortable, and they do not see the value in these guys. These guys just become regular guys, and they still, when you look at this, got to go through the shit that regular guys go through. And that's ridiculous to me, because it's like, yo, you got all these women all over the internet. You can see them destroying the game, being mad at they dude playing the game, trying to take the attention away from the game when the dude is playing the game. Chicks be jealous of the game. That is very typical of women. That is typical behavior. You see it a lot. You see it very frequently, right? A man that is providing on that level and that is just that great, and that could go outside and fuck anybody in the world and they would be ecstatic to do it pretty much for free, just to have an opportunity to try and get in your position as far as Savanah. Shit, a chick will be ecstatic just to be a side piece getting 10K a month or whatever the case may be. Something that would be nothing to LeBron. But a guy that great still has to go through typical bullshit, typical relationship bullshit, and the chicks do not really appreciate the man in the way that you think They would. And I'm not going to lie to you. It highlights something that I think is very true. And it's that women really don't appreciate shit for the most part. You can debate whether men appreciate what women do and stuff like that. You could definitely debate that. I reacted to a chick the other day. The difference between men and women is that women are going to go out and cry for that appreciation, no matter, even if you do appreciate them. And this is something I've seen that is true through personal experience, anecdotal experience. But even if you show a chick appreciation consistently, they're going to feel like they are underappreciated regardless, because they are like kids. They don't really want to do the responsible shit. The chick that I reacted to the other day, she was really trying to plead the baby dads need to be more appreciative of their baby moms. This is a man channel. There's not one time I can think of that I've highlighted a man saying that women need to appreciate anything. Because we don't get on the internet and be like, oh man, you need to appreciate, the man is paying your bills and da 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 da. Like because I just paid my girl bills and da da da. Like, women get on the internet and vent about the relationship with the husband that they with right now, mid-divorce, and they got to see the nigga right after they get done making a video, and they put it out on the internet, put all their business out. They still got to keep talking. Like, it's weird shit. That's how they operate. I'm dragging this part, so we going to move on, but I got to end it on this note. One thing my dude used to tell me is that in the Bible, Jesus never made any miracles in his hometown. And that's something that stuck with me. But I never knew that there was actually a scripture to some degree that kind of describes that. And this is Mark 6:4. And it says, Jesus said to them, a prophet is not without honor except in his hometown, amongst his relatives, and in his own home. What does that mean? It means that the people that you are closest to aren't really going to recognize who the world really looks at you as, your talent, and all of that stuff. Typically, they're not going to recognize it. You're just going to be a regular person to them. And all of that greatness and all of that status you have built up and everything, none of that matters in your home and in your community, because you're just a regular guy. They don't really recognize that. They really don't recognize who you are to the world. Now, even with that said, we can't play crazy, bro. When it comes to Savanah, especially when we talk about these basketball players and these celebrities, man, Savanah seems to be a great wife, if I'm being honest. Even though I talked for a grip about how she don't look at LeBron the same way other people look at LeBron and stuff like that, I still think she is a great wife to some extent for a few reasons, but I'm just going to really harp on one for real. She stays in the background. She stays in the shadows. She doesn't have ads. She did a podcast recently. She got a podcast, and it took her 20 years to get this podcast, but she's not out here doing the Aisha Curry and embarrassing LeBron. She is not embarrassing LeBron. She's not doing the Travis Hunter's girlfriend. She don't got no crazy past that has come out or nothing like that. And she's not, publicly making him look foolish. Look at that handshake clip that I showed y'all. She was still smiling. She was still like, there was nothing there that was like, oh, she's disrespecting him, or, oh, she don't really feel him. That was too crazy. It was not too crazy. When it is time for her to speak, not only can she articulate herself well, but she hold it down for her man. She uplift her man and stuff like that in the public eye, et cetera, et cetera. I know we from the outside looking in, but it seems like there is no dysfunction in their household. She's more than likely a great mother. Guess what? We've heard two things about LeBron when it comes to women. We have heard way back in 10 years ago in the Miami Heat days, like that Bron had that a long time ago, where Pusha T said, he was basically saying, insinuating, that LeBron had sex with Yes Jules, the promoter down there. Because she used to throw parties for LeBron during the Miami Heat era. But this is the thing, man. Over 10 years passed. Like it was 10 years, basically. And then she comes out and basically cleared the rumors up because they kept following her over the years. Even this year, she addressed them again at the top of the year in January. So over 10 years, just people running with this rumor that she had sex with married NBA player LeBron James. And she finally cracked and said, listen, like nothing ever happened between it. Like she was trying to ignore it. LeBron never said anything about it, but guess who never even tweeted about anything related to any of that, Savanah? The whole time she held it down. Guess what just happened recently? This nigga LeBron fucking went into the Kendrick concert that made Drake mad. What did Drake do? He did some whole shit. He went and basically a text got leaked where he said something along the lines of that would be like me, you know, telling on LeBron or putting out something about LeBron about him having orgies and coming to Canada to have orgies with me and stuff like that. So he was basically trying to put it out there to, you know, LeBron get freaky in other cities. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but guess who didn't say nothing? Savanah. She stayed in the shadows. She stayed in the dark with it, never addressed none of that shit, left it all alone. With all of the foolishness going on now, where all of these chicks really want, like, they really be social media focused, and they all want to be celebrities that actually have no talent, no value. And I literally mean that. There's a chick named Cocaine Lorraine. And I just got done going over Johnny Blaze too. The irony is both of them have ties to Drake because Cocaine Lorraine, the first time I even heard of her was her turning down Drake. She put a screenshot out of her turning down Drake in a DM. And when it comes to Johnny Blaze, she is a Atlanta stripper. I did a video on her recently. And she was tied to him just because they used to mess around and stuff like that, et cetera, et cetera. Now, at least Johnny has aspirations to do other stuff like sing and stuff like that, but she's a stripper. And when it comes to Cocaine Lorraine, she don't even do she don't do nothing, bro. She is just a human butt on social media. And for over 10 years, these chicks have had social media followings, big. At least Johnny Blaze went on reality TV, something, man. Cocaine Lorraine has done nothing but post her butt on the internet for 10, 15 years, bro. And has a high follower count because of it, has some degree of like social media, internet fame because of it. And it's like that's the era that we in where a lot of chicks have no talent, no nothing. They just body, they just beauty, and that's it. And they just get in proxy. Like a lot of these chicks be getting around these streamers and stuff like that. Some of these chicks, like Ari, be bottle girls or whatever, and they end up getting a rapper baby dad, and that's the package right there. And they take the package as far as the fame from the baby dad and go to the moon with it. They go to the moon with it. Ari be getting booked at clubs, and all we know her for is shaking her ass, and then she get mad when motherfuckers tell her to shake her ass at the club when they done paid her $5,000 to $10,000, probably $15,000 just to show up. And then, like, just in the NBA, you got Steph Curry wife, and what did she do? You know, she wanted to do a cooking show. She wanted to down talk those types of hoes that I mentioned and stuff like that. And it was going good, and everybody thought everything was good. But what happened, man? She got on that. She got around that fucking succubus, Jada Pinkett. She got around that succubus, that demon, Jada Pinkett. And what did she do? She said, "Oh man, you know, my man, he be getting all the attention from the women, but I don't be getting attention from no men. Like nobody trying to holler at me at the gas station no more." Da 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 da. And then she started trying to get her sexy back, showing more skin and all types of stuff. And what did it come down to, man? She had the FOMO, the fear of missing out on the hoeing. And that just became a whole identity for her and caused a lot of social media turmoil that was completely unnecessary and, you know, messed with Steph's image a little bit. You then got women like Scottie Pippen's wife, who was just absolutely embarrassing, not just him, but their son that is now in the league. Like she was dating NBA players while her son was in the league. Nasty work. But with that being said, we haven't seen anything close to that from Savanah. So Savanah is pretty good in my book, even though all that other stuff I said is still valid. Now I got two more points to make. This point comes from me seeing a marriage up close and personal over the course of my entire life, but also seeing other marriages within the family, also seeing other marriages in proximity that aren't in the family, but just outside the family, and even seeing certain things just throughout, the internet or TV, whatever the case may be. When it comes to a long lasting marriage, it is not going to be the sexiest shit. People are not perfect. You are going to have to work through a lot of things. You're going to have to figure each other out, et cetera, et cetera. Y'all are going to have to correct each other. Y'all are going to have to calibrate, et cetera, et cetera. Every day is not going to be peaches and sunshine. The attraction may fade away to some degree. And the thing about it, especially after you have built a family, you got to understand, which a lot of people don't, what you are getting into, and that you have to thug it out unless there is something that is absolutely crazy. Now, this is the thing. Something crazy would be your girl cheating on you or your man cheating on you and stuff like that. That's infidelity. I could understand that breaking up a marriage. But what a lot of chicks do, they have been sold this Disney princess fantasy shit, and they initiate a lot of the divorces, the majority actually, but a lot of the divorces that they initiate are because they are just unhappy. That's it. They are just unhappy. Not even because, and they'll say this all the time. It's not me saying this. They will say the guy is not bad. On paper, he's a good guy, but the spark is not there, or he just doesn't make me happy. Just whatever the case is, they just because of how they feel, they destroy a family. And what people got to realize is marriage is not the sexiest shit. You got to work through some shit. You got to be ready for the commitment. You got to be locked in. That swinger shit and all that weird shit, I don't think that's the way to go. But if that's the way you want to go, if the results end up, bad, that's to be expected, honestly. But with that being said, when you go to distance with somebody, you can't really expect them to look at you when we talk about sex and admiration the same way that those white women were looking at LeBron. And that also goes vice versa. There's a certain level of familiarity and comfort that people have. And some couples, they keep that spark the whole time. Some couples, they don't. And you got to work to try and find that shit again. And that's the thing about marriage. Marriage is work. There's a saying that some dudes have, there's no pussy like new pussy, and there's some truth to that, because there's a different level of excitement when you get a new partner and stuff like that. There's a different level of excitement, especially when you are pursuing a person. The pursuit, in some cases, when everything is going your way, not when you getting rejected or you wondering if you getting rejected. Nah. When there's a mutual attraction and, you were pursuing it and everything, and like y'all, whatever, like that shit, it can be exciting to some extent. And then, when you had a sex, that could be exciting, or it could just be the big release to where it's like, all right, I'm done with this chick, whatever the case may be, depending on how you were built. And even then, the more familiar y'all get, the better the sex can get. But I'm going to say something, and this is, for me, I know this is true. There's going to be, and it might not be the first time y'all had sex, but it's good. Like, if you have a sexual partner long term, there's going to be one time, and it's going to be within those early sexual interactions, where it's going to be very memorable, and it's going to be very good. And that's going to be the one that sticks with you, and you'll forget about a lot of the other times, but that one is going to stick with you. So that's the pinnacle. That's the pinnacle. And the pinnacle is something that, in my opinion, from my experience and things like that, and even from looking at a lot of these married couples, Like the pinnacle is never going to be reached again. It's just not. It's just not. I don't know. It might be something I don't know about to where motherfuckers learn some new tricks or motherfuckers just be like, okay, let's spice it up. Let's start fucking in public and try and end up on a sex offender list or something. And it bring that adrenaline back. I don't know, bro. I don't know. I don't get on this channel and act like I know it all, but let's just end this point right here so we can move on to flesh this point out a little bit more. But marriage is work, and marriage is not just pure lust like what you're seeing on them white chicks' faces and stuff like that. It's work. Now, when we look at Kevin Gates, we got to go back to him because he's the reason that we're here, right? So the last couple points that I'm gonna make are going to be about Kevin Gates. Kevin Gates had a wife. Kevin Gates had Drika, and he loves Drika and XYZ, and even when he with other chicks or when he in between chicks, he will talk like, oh, she is, mine forever, and I'm intertwined with her. She had my kids, all this stuff. Like, so he really loved her and all that stuff. But the thing is, for whatever reason, it can't just be him and her. It can't just work out. And from just observing, just my observation, the reason that is because he's a wildly freaky fraud. He is somebody who even with all the Muslim stuff that he do and all the grounding and stepping into the earth and stuff like, he is somebody who has to have another babe. It's hard for me to believe with as much on and off as I've seen him have and as many other chicks as I've seen him like have little mini relationships with and then rap about them years later, fucking up their whole relationship, Rennie Rucci. It's hard for me to believe that he is not a serial monogamous and like, he'll go and get like a Brittany Renner and this is like some flavor of the month shit. This is not going to go the distance because nothing he does with women goes the distance. Like I said, he's had a bunch of on and offs with his babe. So when you look at somebody like that, of course, he is somebody who, has been married and really, if you ask me, I don't know what's going on inside their marriage, but didn't value the marriage to the point where, it's on and off. People are questioning if they together. He can't really give a solid answer or whatever the case may be. And he's messing with all these other chicks. And we don't know what Drika is doing. But even with that, like I already mentioned, he's jumping from girl to girl, situation to situation. I could see him not getting the points that I've made. Because listen, I can understand wanting a woman to admire you, wanting a woman to lust you, wanting a woman to, treat you like you are, air quote, him. But the thing about that, I think two things are going on with him. I think that he is moving based on how he feels. He is moving based on how he feels, similar to a woman, just keeping it a bean. He is moving based on how he feels. If he feels like things aren't right, he is getting rid of the woman. But this is the other thing. I think the bar for what he is going to tolerate is very high, meaning he has a very low tolerance. I feel like he has a very low tolerance to where a lot of these situations just be ending pretty quick because he's the common denominator in all this abundance of relationships, public relationships that he's had. So I don't think that there's a lot of vetting going on. I don't think that he seriously intends to take these chicks serious for a long term. And I think he's kind of like how I mentioned the super player and stuff like that. He is that. He will have a fake relationship with a chick that he knows in his mind is not going to go the distance because nothing he does goes any type of distance. And just based on what I see, I think he is more about lust than actual commitment and actually trying to build something that is going to be sustainable over the course of a long time, similar to what LeBron has built with Savanah. But to be fair, LeBron got Savanah when they were in high school. So she didn't have a chance to get corrupted like a lot of these chicks out here. But even then, Kevin is a corrupted individual to some degree. But let's make it to the last point. I see a lot of dudes questioning if Kevin Gates is going to get approached by LeBron like LeBron approached Stephen A. Smith. They're wondering if LeBron is going to approach Kevin Gates. There are a few things I have to say to that. The first thing, let's just get this out the way, man. I don't know if I've ever seen Kevin Gates at a basketball game courtside. I don't know if I've ever seen him at a basketball game courtside. One thing I'm sure he's not known for going to Laker games. So that's number one. Stephen A does that. The second thing is him and LeBron don't have the rapport that him and Stephen A have. You can at least see a picture of LeBron shaking Stephen A head. You can at least hear, Stephen A say, yeah, me and LeBron don't fuck with each other and all of that shit. You can at least hear that. They are in the same industry. When it comes to Kevin, I don't think he's ever met LeBron. If he did, I think he would have more respect than to talk about his wife on the internet. I would think that. But again, that's the second point. They have no familiarity. The third point is that Kevin doesn't constantly talk about LeBron and his family, and it's not Kevin's job to talk about LeBron. So there's nothing there to where this is even going to come up again in most cases. I've never heard, and Kevin Gates been in the game for like something like 10, 11 years or something. And I've never heard him mention LeBron this whole time. So that's not an issue that needs to be addressed because something needs to be stopped or nothing like that. But this is the other thing to where all of that other stuff can go out the window. So I got two more points. This one right here is important. He referred to his wife as a bitch.
I don't like the way Savanah look at LeBron. But it's like I noticed when he go do the handshake with the main player on his team, which is that, it's like, you act like I'm bothering you, bitch. Like, right.
And see, that's problematic. That's problematic. But the thing is, this is a gangster rapper. This is somebody who has built his name off of I eat booty, and really bringing booty eating to the forefront of sexual conversations in America. He popularized booty eating. I'm not saying booty eating wasn't happening before that, but he's the person who made it widely acceptable. So this is who we talking about. And if you want me to be honest, this is why you don't give some of these gangster type dudes power and stuff like that, because they get on and because they got a history of violence and they willing to be violent with anybody and stuff like that. They just don't, some of them just don't give a fuck and they don't have no class and they will say wildly disrespectful shit to civilians or about civilians. And when you look at somebody like Stephen A. Smith and LeBron, the furthest that's going to go, if it were to get physical, is fisticuffs. But when you talk about these gangster dudes, they egos be fragile and stuff like that, you never know if a motherfucker might try to stab you or shoot you, whatever the case may be, or they might try and have some people jump you, or they do a little dirk and pay some motherfuckers to get up with you and stuff like that, because those are the type of games the gangsters play and stuff like that. And even then, you look at these cats they're celebrity rappers. Dirk is an example of these motherfuckers being stupid and not knowing how to leave that shit behind them. Not knowing how to leave that shit behind them. So this is not a Kevin thing I'm saying as far as how they conduct themselves. This is universally a gangster rapper thing. A lot of them are very ignorant and they do a lot of fuck shit. And you got to expect for them to not have class and for them to get on camera and say bitch, talking about LeBron's wife, not watching their mouth or nothing like that because they don't care, because they think they can say whatever they want because they'll beat anybody up, shoot anybody, et cetera, et cetera. They willing to take it that far, some of them. And even if they not, it's a nigga around them that is just a crash dummy. It's a crash dummy. Again, Dirk had the crash dummies. A lot of these rappers got the crash dummy. Shit, Lil Tim was that for motherfucking Quando Rondo. It typically don't beat a rapper, but Kevin Gates, he done did prison time and he done got he say he got bodies, et cetera, et cetera. So all of that, which brings me to my last point. No, LeBron is not going to say nothing to Kevin Gates because when it could, a lot of the stuff that I mentioned is stuff that couldn't, even if he got into it, if LeBron got into it with the most gangsterous gangster, You know, a lot of these rappers got Ricos or they got Ricos loading up. Some of them, I'm not going to say no names. And they be getting other rappers or just other people clapped and stuff like that. Other gangsters clapped. There's a lot of that going on, man. So even if LeBron was to get into it with any of those types of figures, LeBron is a fucking billionaire. You know what scares niggas? White security, bruh. That's it. And don't let it be. All they got to do is look like the feds. If they are the feds, that's great. But if they look like the feds, I'm not even going to lie. That scares gangsters too, because just gangsters in general. Because Buddy, what's Buddy name? Sammy the Bull. He said he was trying to extort Donald Trump in the '80s, but he couldn't get to him. He was the only one of the only people he couldn't get to. Why? Because Donald Trump was smart enough to have the feds as security. And he had so many ex-Fed dudes and just Fed dudes up there to where it's like, nah, he couldn't. Sammy the Bull couldn't get close to him, and he didn't feel comfortable even trying to get close to him because he had the right type of security. So yeah, that type of shit scared these dudes. So like, that's not something LeBron would have to worry about as far as a lot of the stuff that I mentioned. But this is the thing as well. LeBron got more to lose than Kevin Gates. If Kevin Gates do any type of violent anything anywhere to anybody, the most he got to worry about is going to jail and paying some lawyer fees and stuff like that. When it comes to LeBron, LeBron is a billionaire for a reason. That shit'll fuck up his image if he really get into it with somebody like Kevin Gates, or just even if he put hands on Stephen A. Smith. Like, it could really ruin his image to where he'll have to go on a Will Smith apology tour, sit down for a year type shit. Like, and the fucked up thing is he can't sit down for a year. Like, you know, Kobe had to play through that, you know, them allegations. He had to go and play through them allegations. He couldn't escape the media or nothing like that. Jordan had to play through them gambling allegations and all the stuff with his dad and et cetera, et cetera. So if LeBron were to get physical with somebody or anything like that, it's not going to be a good look for him, especially this deep in his career, in his legacy and all that stuff. With that being said, just keeping it a being, bruh, it's not going to go well. It's not going to go well because I don't see Kevin Gates backing down if LeBron were to come at him like, hey, keep my motherfucking wife name out your mouth or da-da-da-da-da. I just see it escalating. That's all. Even if LeBron was to DM this dude, like, I just see it escalating because motherfuckers have no class, not civilized. Even though he put on a suit and he be carrying himself a certain way, for you to just, oh bitch, and just even be talking about this man's wife as a celebrity. Like, I'm nobody. I got 6K subscribers. Hey, don't nobody give a fuck about nothing I'm saying. Like, I'm nobody. You are somebody who gets paid to go on stage, tens of thousands of dollars, and you are a celebrity. Whatever I'm saying is going to be a few people to see it. Whatever you say, every media, like major media outlets, are going to pick it up. It's going to be a story. That is the difference between me. You have more responsibility when it comes to what you say. I know this video was a long one, but nobody really gives like that type of nuance as far as like covering every aspect of these issues. But yeah, that's it for today, man. Let me know your thoughts. I'm gone.